this is what I'm going to make for you today, this beautiful sauce. Hello! Today I wanted to share with you a meat sauce. Delicious meat sauce. Folks, this is one that I developed to go with fish, pork, chicken, beef, you name it. It's a meat sauce and it works really, really well. You have a beautiful harmony here. A fruity, sweet, and savory. Nice spicy savory. Delicious food. And folks, let me show you how I do this. It's a very simple dish, very easy to make. I would like to mention though, before we get started on it, please take a look in the description when you get a chance. You're going to see a link to my website. That's S.A.Trotter.com, and that's where I have my recipes. Also, I have other merchandise for Texas Cooking Today there. There's aprons, caps, shirts, hoodies. I've got some really neat stuff, so please take a look at that and take a look around the rest of my website. Also, I have the rest of my recipes on Texas Cooking Today. There are hundreds of them, so please enjoy those. Now folks, this recipe, a tasty one. I developed this just last year and I'm glad to share it with you today. So come over here, let me show you these ingredients and we're gonna make this sucker. Come on. So the ingredients that I'm using here is a wonderful variety of goodies, folks. We have, starting right up here, some orange juice. That's 1.5 cups of orange juice. With that orange juice, I'm going to add a little lime juice to it, 1/4 cup of lime juice, and 1/4 cup of soy. That's a plain, ordinary soy sauce, nothing special. I have some honey right here and some sugar. Also, we're going to be putting in right here paprika. This is chipotle powder, some salt. I have onion powder and some cumin. Together, these when combined and reduced and thickened up make a fantastic tasting meat sauce that, well, I think you may just get hooked on. Now, this is as simple as get it combined and start cooking it. Now I've got everything ready to go, all measured out. When it comes to making this meat sauce, it's just a matter of being patient for the most part. There is mostly just the amount of time it takes to reduce it, to make it nice and thick. Once that's done, oh my goodness, you end up with just these most heavenly flavors. And of course that is because we're starting with some really good stuff. We've begun with some great flavor. There we go. You see that soy sauce is quite heavy. It just wants to sink right to the bottom. And then when it does that, you don't see it in there until you stir it. And it kind of shows you that even when it comes to liquids, that you got to stir things to get them to combine, folks. Sometimes liquids don't just automatically combine. So, I'll whisk in that sugar. Once I get that sugar whisked in, I go ahead and get the honey in there. And this is just a matter of getting everything combined. Okay, so now I'm working on getting that honey mixed in, and it's almost there. It's just sitting on the bottom a little bit. Okay, now at this time, I'm going to go ahead and get some heat underneath it. And what I'm looking to do is to bring it to a boil to start with. I'll reduce the temperature and I want to let it sit there and boil. Now I've got a couple of cups of liquid here. All right, in fact, I would say upwards of about 3 cups almost. And I want to reduce it down to maybe 1 cup to 1.5 cups. It'll get somewhat thick and it'll work fine. Now, our spice, boom, right in there with the onion and the cumin. And here we have the 2 chilies, my paprika and chipotle powder with the salt. Yes. All right. So, this is a matter of patience at this point. Just let it cook and reduce, and you want to stir it occasionally. Give it a stir about every 15 to 20 minutes so you know nothing's going weird. and just keep it cooking. That's all. You're simmering this open, and that way we can get as much of the moisture, as much of that water cooked out of it as absolutely possible. Our liquid is just broken a boil. That's exactly what we were looking for. I'm going to go ahead and give this a little bit of a stir. I'm going to turn down the heat because I don't need to cook it at that high of a temperature. I mean, I can, but I just don't need to. And there we go. So that's going to sit there and just simmer like that. And as it gets thicker and thicker, we'll take a look at it. Oh man, the aroma, it's already started and it's just fantastic. Okay, it's a matter of time and patience. And of course, I want you folks to know exactly what's going on. So we're going to start our count up timer and we will see exactly what happens with this sauce. Folks, this is now at 23 minutes and it is doing what you see here. It hasn't puffed up or anything, it's just foamy. And if you give it a bit of a stir, it will pull that foam right back down to its liquid. There we are, right there. So you can see that it'll do that a little bit. Don't let that bother you. Don't be disturbed by it or anything. It's just the characteristics of how sugars and acids react with heat. They do weird stuff, folks. So that's what you're seeing right there. Anyway, this has reduced maybe by about, I would say a third of the liquid has reduced, maybe slightly more. So I'm just going to let it sit here, keep doing its thing. We're at 24 minutes. I just looked at the clock. And, well, when it's ready, we'll know because it'll be nice and thick. Okay, let's take a look here. Looks like my time is just about to hit 40 minutes. Okay, and this is looking a lot different. It's moving a lot slower. It has a much different appearance to it. Look at that. I can feel thickness on the bottom has formed up. And I keep stirring this about, every 10 minutes at least. So I'm going to take the heat off of it now. It has been reduced quite a bit. As soon as this foaming goes down, we're going to be able to see just how much this has reduced. But see how that, even the foam is kind of thick. It's really quite interesting. I think we're going to see our dark liquid here again in just a moment. But that has thickened up a whole lot. And I want that to go ahead and thicken some more. And I'm just giving it plenty of time to do that. So what I want to do is to allow it to cool, and that will actually, believe it or not, cause it to thicken even more. Now, here's the thing. If it gets too thick for you, thicker than you want for whatever purpose you're using it for, then you might want to go ahead, add a little bit of water to it just to thin it back a little bit. That's all it takes. It is looking beautiful, isn't it? So folks, here we have a meat sauce that I originally invented for seafood. This was actually invented for doing on salmon, specifically grilled salmon or grilled swordfish or grilled tuna. So it does really good with good strong grilled fishes and also with pork, chicken, beef. This sauce is just another good meat sauce right there. So, and it's all yours to enjoy, folks. Now, my little timer has started counting over again. Now, whenever it hits 1 hour, that's exactly what it does. So it's been 1 hour and 2 minutes. And we've given this a little bit of time to cool down. And as I mentioned, when it cools down, it gets thicker. Now look at that. That's what we're talking about. It got thicker, got darker. Oh yeah. There we go. Now, so we're talking about some really nice meat sauce here. Okay, I'm going to get a spoon. Something you should always do when you make something, anytime you make something, before you go serving it, before you go depending on it or anything else, make sure you know what you're serving. Make sure you know what you've cooked. Give it a taste. Oh man, it is intense. The flavor is deep and rich. It is a bit on the thick side, but as I mentioned to you, I can always thin this out. That's not a problem. Wow. It has a beautiful tang to it, very much like you will find in a lot of bottled steak sauces. And it has a great fruity flavor in addition to the spices that are there. This is everything a good meat sauce should be, folks. I sure hope you enjoy that one. The quantity of everything that we use today, let me start right here with the juice. That's 1.5 cups of orange juice. And to that I did 1/2 cup of granulated cane sugar, 1/3 cup of honey, 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 1/4 cup of lime juice, 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of chipotle powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of paprika. Folks, as you've seen, it's not hard to put together. Now let's take a look at our finished product, see what it looks like, and give it a taste. Okay, now I did myself a favor and I added a little bit of water to this, not much. It was only a couple of tablespoons, but look at the difference now, folks. See, it's running and moving a lot better. Okay, that is absolutely fantastic now. I like that. Oh, folks, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. A beautiful meat sauce that just pairs. Oh, yeah. So that's a beautiful, beautiful sauce. Folks, this one, remember, he's concentrated. Oh, man. So many fabulous elements to it. It can be used in so many ways. And I guarantee you, when you try it, this is going to be one you add to your recipe book. Very, very good tasting. Please enjoy this recipe. Got a lot more. My channel is loaded with these recipes, okay? So take a look. Also, take a look at my website. That's S.A.Trotter.com. That's where I sell the recipes. That's where I have my merchandise for Texas Cooking Today, as well as other artwork that I produce and my services. So if you would, please take a look at that. Thank you very much for watching this. And ladies and gentlemen, please, you have a good day. And thank you very much. Bye-bye.